Hi guys, welcome to another breakdown of GBPUSD. Let's get it. I don't usually trade this pair. I stick to GBP, JPY, but I've heard a lot of people, well, a lot of you guys who pay attention to the videos have been trading GBPUSD. So I thought it'd be a good idea to, give you all my opinion on the pair. Looking at the price action on the higher time frame, now the pound has been extremely weak, and I think extremely well weak since the 2008 financial crisis, because we formed a high and we've been on a downtrend ever since on the higher time frames. On the lower time frames, yes, we've seen some bullish price action, but we've been on a overall downtrend. So that's just something to keep in mind. See, price made a high around here. We made a lower low, then a lower high, lower low. We broke the previous high, then formed a lower low again. Currently, in the present, we're in this kind of mini uptrend. And we say mini uptrend because we keep in the back of our minds that overall we are in a downtrend. But most recently, and now this is the weekly time frame, so this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 weeks of generally some bullish price action. We formed a low down here at 14.20, then formed a high at 26.37, then formed a higher low, excuse me, that's boo again, then formed a higher low at 21.16, then formed a higher high at 2800 approximately, and we're in the process of forming a lower high, or we're going to break this previous low down here to form a lower low and see the downtrend continue on GBP USD. So what I like to do, as I've done before with all the other pairs, is, well, I'll take a glance at the monthly time frame. You see we formed a high up here and we've been trending down ever since. The high was formed at 28.17, right? So if you could see, if you were to guess how this month's candle is going to close, I think it's going to close bearish. We're probably going to see some bearish action at the beginning of this week to close this monthly candle as a bearish pin bar, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that because I don't really follow the names of candles and stuff. I just look at the price action. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's a bearish pin bar we're about to form on the monthly time frame. I drop down to the weekly time frame, and once again we do the same thing. I do the same thing every week, every day on each time frame. We form the weekly high. That weekly high came in at 25.47, 1.2547 approximately. I'd round that off to 1.2550 as we like nice round numbers. Well, not I like, right, nice round numbers. The markets like nice round numbers. We formed a low at 23.12. So let's label. Let's not forget to label last week's low. Last week's low, yeah. Let's label last week's high. I think this up here was the monthly high, not so, if you're not mistaken, yeah. And we keep that. I'd keep the monthly high on the chart because we never know if it is we get some bullish price action, what's the upward target that we intend to see price move into. So we leave the monthly high on the chart. Last week's low, then wait, I jumped down, weekly time frame. Last week's low. Now just to note, the low that we currently coming into, which would be the higher low on the weekly time frame, because remember I explained the market structure that we're currently seeing on the weekly time frame, right? So the most recent low on the weekly time frame would have been this area down here. So now that price is coming into this low, once we don't break below this low, I think that we could see another, we could ride some buys to create another high. Now that's not in this current week we're looking at here, right? I'm just looking at the overall market structure, given that we have a low, we have a higher high, we have a higher low, and then a higher high forming here, and this potentially is a lower high, then to form a sorry, not a lower high. This is potentially forming a higher low, and then we could see a higher high formed on the bigger time frames. But that is not likely because we are in an overall downtrend on the higher time frames. So the position that I think the bulls would be looking to guard is this. Let me make sure I get this correct. Is this higher low on the weekly time frame? So I would put a little line here. This low is approximately at 2100 coordinates, 2100. I won't label this as like a weekly high or something. I'll just put the line and set it there just so I could see what price action does around that area. So we have the last week's low established, we have last week's high established. What I do next is I drop down to the before I drop down to the lower time frames, let me just show you all what we have here. We have a little trend line forming here, right, that we just broke. So if you see that price broke the trend line, we retested and we sold down, and potentially we're selling down to fill this range down here. So coming into this week, wait, let me delete the trend line because I used to trade a lot more with trend lines, but I realized ultimately key price levels are the thing that creates a trend line. So once you focus on the key price levels, you don't need to stress yourself about trend lines either way. But again, I'll just show you all for education's sake. If that trend line was forming about here, you all know about a break and a retest, right? We see that price was respecting this trend line. We broke the trend line, we retested this trend line to the T, but as I said before, I like to focus on key price levels, and we could see that the key price level at 25.50 is the exact point on the trend line that was retested. So fundamentally, once you focus, as I said before, on the key price levels, you don't even need to worry about trend lines. Once you keep the price action at the back of your head. So coming into this week, oh sorry, I'm on the forward time frame. Let's go draw back to the daily time frame, and I did not establish my daily high from Friday and daily low, so let's do that quickly. We found Friday's high was 24.38, and on the pound Friday we got a lot of movement, which usually Fridays are a bit dead, but we got some price action on the pound Friday, and I took advantage of sales not on this pair but on GBPUSD. So we have the daily high. No, not daily high. Sorry, this is Friday's high, which is a daily high, but we won't label it daily high. Friday's high. And then we have now Friday's low was last week's low, so we don't need to label the Friday's low. Now coming into this week, now I would be cautious if we see some bullish momentum coming into the market at the start of the week. I mean, I'm saying this, but don't hold me to it. But generally speaking, I won't be looking for buys at the beginning of the week. If I see some sharp bullish action, I'll stay out and watch price action. What I am ideally waiting for is if we break below last week's low of 23.12. This is a nice range to play down of clean price action. This is a 215 pip range that we could play on sells down. So if it is to break below this area, we could get a retest of the last week's low as resistance and sell it down to retest the low of the general trend that we see in here. Just like we did before, I'll show you all the trend in case that y'all don't see it. We made a low down here, then we made a high, we made a higher low, we made a higher high, and now we're coming down potentially. If we could break this previous low, and once we break down here, I think that we're gonna see the bears rushing into this market to retest the low down here. But of course, it won't be so clean. I should have. Let me just draw it over quickly. Low. lower high, we come down, retest this area, and the sells from this zone, if we break, would be phenomenal. So yeah, that's what I see. Now the other side, because I mean, you as a trader, you always need to be a little what's the word, flexible or fluid, or like how Bruce Lee does say, be like water, be fluid in the markets. So that's the way I see it. So if now I'm pretty sure if it is we get that bullish, now this is the zone to break, right? So if it is we maintain support at 1.2312, we could see buys into form a higher high, but I think that's very unlikely. So regarding this pair, and generally, I think even last week I mentioned on the pound overall, I am bearish. So personally, I'm only taking sells. I have to see a strong bullish daily candle for me to consider entering buys on a pound. So, but that's not to say if you see price action that you accustomed trading to see buys, you don't engage in it. 100% take your buys if you think you see in the price action for that. But me personally, sells only. Break below this level, I take sells to retest the range lower down here. And I'm so adamant about my sells because across the board on all pound pairs we see in the same kind of price action in terms of this strong bearish momentum to retest the lows of the previous weeks and months. Um, and fundamentally, I'm not trading this pair, GBPUSD. My pound pair is GBP which we're going into next, and GBP So I think that's I mean, we could jump down to the forward time frame just to see how price action has functioned between our levels. We need to click auto. Right, yeah. You could see that nice. Look at this nice market structure, and I'll go over this again because I mean I won't stress enough. Market structure is everything. The analysis, your interpretation of market structure is your perception of the highs and the lows of the given days, weeks, hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. A candle, always, all a candle shows you is the high and the low for a specific time period, and the open and close for that specific time period. So we have a high, it formed up here, we formed a lower low, then a lower high, from the lower low, from the lower high, and we're in the process. Now you see this level here, which is last week's low, is the key level that we need to break to validate our sales going down. Um, but as an experienced trader, I won't go into sales until we break below the last week's low. Alternatively, if price retraces a bit and retests last week's high, or even if we don't go that high and we at least retest Friday's high, you could take some sales around this area down, but you never miss out completely on a trade because there's always retest. We would retest last week's high as resistance, and we could see that heading down for to retest the bottom of this range later on in the week. So that's the price action that we're looking at coming into this week for GBPUSD. As I said, I won't be trading this pair, but I know a lot of you trade this pair.